Hi, welcome to the MyFestus.com conversation show, an encouraging, entertaining, and educational podcast for those who live, work, and play in the Festus, Missouri, and Jefferson County area, and for those who value communication, connection, and community wherever you live. Hi, I'm Sara, your host, a Wisconsin girl who is learning all about living in Missouri. Join me as I share fun conversations with local people and share my own reflections on navigating so many transitions. Thank you for making listening an itty-bitty habit to create a big impact in your life. Enjoy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to MyFestus.com conversations. Today, we are graced with a future Tony Award-winning director, Courtney Wisely.
Thank you.
She wears many hats in our community, but she is also the founder and the executive director of Spotlight Community Theater. Welcome to the podcast studio. Now, Short Gals Unite.
Yes.
Well, how tall are you?
4'11".
4'11". I am 5 foot on the dot. So yay for short gals. So we came in. You're just a little itty bitty bit taller than you. So we came in and Courtney was like, I'm gonna get comfy. And I'm like, I want to get comfy. So she took off her shoes. I took off my shoes. And because we are short gals, we were able to just go into this crisscross applesauce position.
I'm like worried. I'm like, at what age is this not going to be possible anymore? Because I don't know how to sit any other way.
I think we're active. I think we're going to go like far into our 90s sit like this. We just relax. So you do theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a theater kid.
Okay. So for those who maybe aren't familiar with theater and musicals and things like that, what's your favorite musical to watch? Like if you could pick one, because there's probably a ton.
Yeah.
But like what's like your go-to like in your what do you love the most?
Okay, first of all, if you really love theater, you would never have just one. That's
okay.
impossible.
Okay.
There's no way. Because if I'm gonna pick a drama, I'm going to Les Mis. Like that's hands down. I would watch Les Mis any day of the week.
All right.
If I'm going with like I'm in a spunky mood, I would go watch Hamilton. Like that's very upbeat and pop, rap and all of that. So that's a totally different vibe.
And so these theater things, these could be musical theaters, or it could just be very theatrical acting that we're talking about, right?
Yes.
It could be anything.
Yes.
Now,
like, wait, what are you asking?
I may be like the people who are watching or listening in who do not know a lot about theater.
That's right, I'm here to educate you.
So that is why we have Courtney here.
And I mean, there was just no way I could do both. So I had to walk away from the school and do full-time Spotlight. But
numbers for a second here. Like what year did you say like, okay, I'm going to open this up to the public and I'm going to maybe invite people in? Did you have an introductory meeting to the community? And then like, what were you expecting? And like, what was that turnout then?
I'm glad you asked because it is freaking amazing.
Okay.
So I decided to open it at the end of 2020.
Okay, so we're like pandemic times, folks.
At the end of 2020 was when I decided to, and then I spent 2021 figuring out all of the back end. I wanted to be prepared before I open it. If anybody knows me, they know I am an organizer. I am a planner. I am usually
like you're setting up the foundation. You're making sure everything's set before we're like launching this.
Yes, I wanted to have all the systems and processes in place because I am a big dreamer, and I thought in my head, I'm like, well, if 1,000 people join, like I need to have a process, you know? So I always, from the beginning, I built it to be successful.
Yes.
I expected it to be, and I didn't really know it would be, but if you expect it, it will happen.
Absolutely.
I'm all about that.
Yes.
Just like they say, like dress for the job you want, not the one you have. Like it's the same thing. If you build the business that you want, it will fill in like
you create that identity.
Yes.
And the world responds to that.
So by the time that I finally announced that I was going to have a public meeting for anybody that was interested in doing theater.
Yeah.
I had it at my office at the time. At that time, I was a business owner. I owned Magic Maids, which was a cleaning company.
Okay.
And I had this big office, and I was like, we're just going to do it here.
Sure.
And I announced it. I set up chairs. I got cookies and like lemonade.
You were thinking how many
I
people?
was hoping I was thinking if 20 people show up, I will
Okay.
be thrilled.
Yes.
But I
Okay.
expected like 10.
Okay.
Because remember, I didn't really know anybody. I'm not from here.
Same.
So
Yeah.
I knew kids. I knew the kids from the school because of me being in
Right.
that. But I really didn't know any adults, and like I can't just ask junior high kids to come to this meeting. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I genuinely did not think hardly anybody would show up. And then, oh my Lord, I don't even know how the word got out. I think I just like made a post about it, and I guess it must have spread like
Something
wildfire
on social media, okay?
behind my back or something, because we had to call the fire marshal almost. I mean, it was literally standing room only. There were people trying to get in from outside that couldn't fit.
How many?
There was almost 100 people that walked in the door. Yeah.
So you're like, please let there be 10 people. And then we had 100 people come to this initial meeting back, and this would have been 2021.
This was March 1st of 2022.
March 1st of 2022. Okay.
Yeah.
So just 2 years ago, virtually 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
You had 100 people at this meeting, and people were like, yes, we want a theater. We want a community theater. What were some of the elements that people were craving in this area?
They wanted something to do.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. We had just had the pandemic.
Sure.
Like people were bored out of their minds.
Sure.
And in our area, there's sports.
Yep.
Or there's nothing.
Sure.
Like there's really not anything else to do,
Sure.
especially for adults.
Yes.
You know? It was crazy. That
Wait,
I will
so
never
we're
forget
talking
that.
when we talk about community theater,
Yeah.
what are the age ranges of what's the most itty-bitty, kiddo that could be involved in a community theater or in Spotlight Community Theater? And what's the oldest? Like, tell me the age range of people who could be involved in behind the scenes or in front of the stage.
So it really depends on the show.
Okay.
Right? Like if it's a more of an adult show, we're
Okay.
obviously not going to have littles involved.
Sure.
The youngest that we've had has been 4.
Okay.
And the oldest that we've had has been 92. I want to think.
So we're talking about
literally everybody.
Span of ages from 4 to 92. So it really depends on what you're doing. It sounds like you do a variety of different shows. You work with a variety of different ages. And in the last 2.5 years, this thing has taken off. So tell us about how many shows you do per year and how people can kind of get involved if they want to either support this or maybe dip their toes in and learn a little bit more.
Yeah. So the first year we did 4 shows, and that was like already like, oh my gosh, can we handle 4 shows in a year? Like our very first year.
Right.
But it went amazing, and we had 300 people signed up to be participated by the end of the first year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that was crazy. And then the second year we again did 4 shows.
Okay.
But we made sure they were bigger and better, because the second year, I don't know if you heard of The Wizard of Oz, but we did that monstrosity of a show. And by the end of that, we knew there was nothing we couldn't do. Like,
that's amazing. And just tell us real quickly how many actual people were involved in the actual production of the show, and then how many of community members came to support the show.
Sure. So
for Wizard of
I'll
Oz
start with
in
the
2023.
23, yeah. I'll start with the most fun fact from that, which is 140 people showed up to audition.
Woo!
So,
140 people just for auditions.
Just for auditions. And I am well aware we are an anomaly as a community theater. This is not how normal community theaters deal. Like they don't have this many people showing up.
Yeah.
And it's because we hit the jackpot with this location. Like there is just not.
And a future Tony award-winning director who has had a vision and an expectation that this is going to work.
Yes.
Okay, so you had
140 people showed up.
Yes.
When you cast a show, you always have to have that like horrible decision of cutting people, right? You can't, because you just simply can't cast everyone.
Right.
But Debbie, my music director, and I, whenever we saw the talent that walked in the door and the amount of people, we were like, okay, I looked at her and I was like, are you going to be able to sleep tonight if we cut 90 people? Because I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. So she just looked at me and she was like, no. And I was like, do you think we could do a double cast and do 2 casts for the same show? And she was like, oh my God, yes. So we had some people that were like not so thrilled with that idea, because they thought that's going to be chaotic and insane. And they weren't wrong.
Right.
But we did it.
So you had 2 shows.
We did.
And then how many people were involved total in that?
So we
Double
had
production.
about 45 people in each show.
Okay.
So what, that 90 actors.
Okay.
So we still had to cut people.
Sure.
But I mean, my God, I couldn't have had 3 casts.
Sure.
But we had 90 actors or so, and then we had about 40 tech crew.
Okay.
So yeah, about 130, 140 people that were involved in the show as a whole.
Amazing.
And then we sold out every show. It was insane. We had 6 performances over 1 weekend.
Oh my goodness.
So we had a ruby cast and an emerald cast, and they alternated performances. They each did 3 over the weekend, and
Unbelievable.
1,600 seats.
1,600
yeah.
tickets sold out.
Yeah.
So you can do anything.
No, wait, 1,800, because it was 300 seats in the theater at Jeffco, and
Okay.
and 6 shows, so 1,800 seats, and we sold out all. Yeah,
That's amazing.
it was insane, and like it was one of those shows that nobody that was a part of that will ever forget that experience. But it was also something that really, I think that was the show that like put our foot down in the community.
Yeah.
Like that was the show that now everybody knows, like they've at least heard of Spotlight.
Yes.
And I think it's because of Wizard of Oz.
And so as we fast forward now
Yeah.
to 2024 and going into 2025,
Yes.
tell us about how many shows you guys typically do per year.
Yeah. So our first and second year we did 4.
Uh-huh.
This third season I was bold enough to say I think we can double it.
Nice.
But I think we can do 8.
Okay.
I think we might even be doing 9 right now. But
Okay.
it was 8 or 9. And of course the board was like, are you crazy? And I was like, yeah, do you know me?
Right.
So-
Right.
But
We're visionaries here,
exactly.
people.
But they also
Hop on
know
board. Yes.
they know that like if I say I'm gonna do something, it's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
I love it.
And they know that I don't back down from a challenge. And so far, right now, we are halfway through our season,
Yep.
and everything has gone off without a hitch. So
And so
next year,
2025, we're planning on
8 shows next year.
8 shows in 2025.
Yes.
Again, ranging depending on the show, depending on the performance, itty-bitty 4-year-old all the way up into the 90s.
Yes. And that's why in my opinion, we needed to expand the season.
Yeah.
Because what I was noticing in the first 2 years, I consider myself kind of like a future, like I can see,
Yes.
I'm a visionary. I can see the future.
Exactly.
I'm clairvoyant. No, but I could tell right away. I'm like, we need to do more because there were so many there was just so many people that wanted to be involved.
Yes.
And the problem was that we didn't have those offerings yet
Sure.
I mean, we did have them, but it was like once a year for the littles.
Right.
And I'm like, that's not going to work.
Right.
Like we're going to lose these kids.
Sure.
Or we're going to lose the adults or whatever. So I was like, if we expand the season, and my goal was that every section of the year would have something offered for the age groups.
I love it.
So that's been my entire idea since we started expanding, and that's so far we've done it, and that's amazing.
And you guys
So
are growing. It's getting better and better.
we're still selling out shows. Like we
That's
sold out both of our summer musicals this year. This was the first time this year that we tried to do 2 musicals.
Okay.
And they were scared about doing 2 musicals. They're like, that's a lot. And
Sure.
we only did them like 2 weeks apart. Like it was crazy
Yes.
close.
It was a lot going on.
But it worked, and we sold out every show for both musicals. So next year we're doing 4.
I love
And
it.
that's a little secret that you didn't know.
4
I think.
musicals in 2025
Yes.
and then 4 other types of
Yes.
performances.
Yep.
Okay. So there's a lot of ways people can get involved, not only if they want to be on stage,
Yes.
behind the stage, they could help. It sounds like you guys do different events throughout the year.
Mhm.
You have a membership program.
Mhm.
So people, whether they are wanting to be directly involved or it sounds like they could monetarily be involved, like,
Yes.
tell us where people can go to find out about the shows, if they want to donate, how they can learn about memberships. Tell us all the things so that people can really connect and support your organization.
Sure. Well, I think first of all, I think you need to only support the things that you're truly passionate about. And
I
so
love that.
my goal is to make sure that the community is passionate about what we do.
Yes.
Because they need to be.
And they need to know about
They
it.
do.
Right.
They need to know about it, and they need to understand how imperative and important it is for this to exist.
Yes.
It is not about me. It is not about any single person involved in Spotlight. It is about giving an outlet to all of the humans in our community, not just the kids, but giving everybody a safe space to express their creativity, to come together with like-minded people that just want a place to belong and just want to see an end result of something that they've all worked so hard together
Yes,
on.
that collaboration.
It is indescribable, the pride that you feel at the end of a production. It is indescribable. Unless you are a theater kid, you just will not get it unless you experience it. And it gives kids especially this sense of responsibility, this sense of I can do anything. It gives them confidence. It gives them, I mean, I could go on and on about the benefits
and the
of
sense
theater.
of family that they belong.
The sense of family. I mean, my God, the sense of family is insane. Like our Spotlight family is such a family. Like there's the littles that are best friends with 80-year-olds, you know what I mean? And showing them how to use TikTok. And like, it's incredible that we can see each other out in the community, and it is an instant hug. It is an instant, oh my God, I miss you. How much I love you so much. Like that's the vibe at Spotlight. So, and we're so welcoming of all the new people. Like every single production, we have gotten to welcome new people into our family. Like that's what it's about. So, so if you are also passionate about giving,
right, or at least just you're passionate about the energy behind these values.
Yes.
And that's what it's really about. So how can people learn more? How can they connect? How can they support?
Yes. So everything is always on our website, which is spotlightjeffco.org.
Spotlightjeffco.org.
And then we also are very active on our Facebook and Instagram, and TikTok as well. So all three of those, the tag is at Spotlight Jeffco.
Okay.
So pretty easy. We post everything that's coming up. As soon as you click on our website or Facebook, if you click get involved and fill that little form out, you'll be on my list and you'll be on our monthly newsletter list, which is where I, tell everybody what's coming up for the month. We have 4 public meetings a year, every quarter, that we share what's going on. And I will say our December meetings every year is where we announce our next season. So that's always like a
exciting
huge meeting.
one. Yes.
So yeah, and I mean, whether you want to be involved as far as like being on stage, being backstage, and let me tell you, there are a ton of ways to be involved backstage. So it's interesting. As soon as I talk to somebody that does not have theatrical experience, I'm like, hey, would you want to be a part of Spotlight? And they'll instantly be like, oh, I'm not getting on stage. I'm like, no. There's a million other things you could do.
Okay.
We need people to build sets. We need people to paint sets. We need people to sew costumes. We need people to go to Goodwill and find props. We need, sound, lights, stage managing, directing, like all of the things. There's so many moving parts.
I love it.
And so there's really not a single human that would not be able to find something to do at Spotlight. Like every skill is welcome and every skill will be utilized. So if you want to be involved that way, obviously get involved. We would love to have you. But if you are so super busy and you can't be involved in that way, but you still want to support our mission, you can absolutely make a donation. It is tax deductible because we are a 501c3.
Love it. Yeah.
You can also become a paid member. And if you're a member, you get different perks. So you might have VIP seating at our shows. One of the tiers has that.
Yay.
And let me tell you, that is a valuable asset because our shows sell out every time. And so if you've got that pretty red seat cover that says VIP reserved, right, and third row center, like that is a powerful position to have.
I love it.
So reserved seating, early access to tickets, ticket lottery stuff, getting to find out information before the general public. These are just some of the perks of being a paid member. And all of that money just goes to support our productions, which are incredible and very expensive.
Sure. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for being an incredible and powerful leader in our area. You are all about community, obviously naming your Spotlight Community Theater with that word. And I would just love to end, and I want to thank you for all you're doing to create community here in our area. I would love to know, what does community mean to you?
Ooh. Community. Okay, hold on. We can pause and let me think about this for a second. Hold on, let me think. Okay. Community to me means that you are surrounded by people that love you no matter what. I think it means that if you are struggling, that you know that there is a large group of people that have your back and will be there to help you with anything that you need. And I have seen that time and time again in our community.
Yes.
I've seen people rally together to help people that, have gone through some sort of a tragedy or their house burned down or something like that. And I think that is just the most beautiful expression of community, is when we all can come together and just remember that we have more in common than what separates us.
So good.
And so to me, that's what community is.
So good. Thank you. And I'm glad we have the short gal in common in our community here. Thank you, Courtney Wisely with Spotlight Community Theater.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to this MyFestus.com conversation. I hope that you have found some itty-bitty inspiring takeaways to make a big impact in your life. To create an even bigger impact in your life, check out my website, myfestest.com, to explore all the positive people and places you can experience around here, as well as learn about encouraging ways to navigate your own life transitions, no matter where you live. I also send out fun, encouraging emails so you can learn about all the new things and score a must-have deal of the week to save you some money as you support our local businesses. Just click on the subscribe button on the myfestest.com website to sign up. Thank you for making listening an itty-bitty habit to create a big impact in your life.